Back. You're watching the news right here on CNN News 18. We have some breaking news coming in regarding a state that is headed into elections tomorrow. This is in the Karnataka Muslim reservation case. The Supreme Court has said it's going to be hearing the case on July 25th. Remember that in March, the BJP government in Karnataka did away with the nearly 30-year-old 4% reservation for Muslims in the OBC category, and it distributed that equally among the Lingayat and the Vocaliga communities. Now, remember, the Solicitor General has said that once again he's tried to assure the Supreme Court that the scrapping of that reservation and the increase that we just talked about will not be implemented. But I believe the Supreme Court has also wrapped public functionaries that are making statements on these reservations when the matter is sub judice. Remember, the state is headed into elections. Let's go into my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar. He's our legal correspondent, to bring us a lot more in terms of context. Ananya, if you could just really break down for our audiences what this means. We know that this is a statement that the BJP made in a cabinet meeting. It was expected that it would affect its election choices, but bring us more context.
Well, the election fever is underway in Karnataka, and now this is one of the major issues when it comes to the Karnataka elections this time with regards to the reservations, and the matter is already before the topmost of the country as well. And what has been said by, in fact, the Supreme Court today was that public functionaries making statements is something that is not nice enough and should not be made. Remember that this happened after the petitioners who were represented by senior advocate Dushyant Dave actually told the court that the Home Minister had made certain statements with regards to the scrapping of the 4% reservation and extending 2% reservation to, in fact, Lingayats and Vokalingas. And in response to that, the Supreme Court said that it is unfortunate that when the matter is already sub judice, public functionaries are making statements and they should refrain from doing so. Is what the topmost of the country had to say. However, the Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, informed the court that since he is completely before the Constitution bench for a few days, because remember that the same-sex marriages Constitution bench is continuously hearing that particular matter, the matter should be adjourned, and hence it has been said by the court that the matter has been adjourned and no kind of an action would be taken by the Karnataka government with regards to the new regime of reservations that are there in the state, and the old regime would continue at this point of time, and the new regime would not actually be used at this particular point of time. The statement has been made by, in fact, the Solicitor General of India before the topmost court of the country, and also Mr. Mukul Duhadgi, who is representing these Lingayats and Vokalinga communities before the topmost court of the country. Toya.
Okay, Ananya, I'd like to ask you now for more context on what is perhaps the central question in this issue, which is the constitutionality of a Muslim quota at all. Can you just really break down for us the context here, why this is an interesting, difficult to process idea and concept?
Well, the reservations on the basis of religion is something that is not allowed in the Constitution of India. And this is the whole and sole basis why, in fact, the Karnataka government also opposed the petitions that have challenged the decision of the government to actually break that 4% reservation block for the Muslim OBCs and transferred the same to in fact, the Vokalingas and the Lingayat communities in the state. Though the decision is being held by certain communities, the Muslim community and certain other people are actually against this particular reservation being granted, and politics is underway, and the matter then reached the Supreme Court of India. The Karnataka government had to file its response into this particular case, but a detailed response is not being able to file since Solicitor General of India is currently busy with the Constitution bench. The whole and sole question is whether this reservation can be changed or...
We're moving right